Welcome back to Valley News. Now Adam Shalafu with the man, the myth, the legend, Doug Leier.
Not in that order.
Not in that order.
Yet.
What is the order?
I don't know. We're working on the order. It's the peak of the week. It's Wednesday.
We don't know anymore.
We're just grinding away.
Yeah,
we're just grinding away, right?
Anyway, the order of business today, though. Just a quick sneak preview of what we'll be getting into. Waterfowl season, and I don't know if you noticed, but I wore one of my many ties with ducks on it. These are mallards here.
And he's not faking it.
Yeah.
You've got many.
I got like 5. You can see them on this rack. The people watching at home probably can't see them, but you can see there's one, and there's another one. So,
have you always been a duck man?
So it started in college. I went to a street fair with my good friend Brendan, who's a journalist up in the Upper Peninsula.
Okay.
Now Brendan, great guy, and we were, having a good time in the sun as college kids do, and then there were these pet ducks wearing diapers. And so me and Brendan, I was wearing my Mike Bibby Vancouver Grizzlies jersey, and he was wearing a Greg Monroe Detroit Pistons jersey. We just went up there and we said, "Can we say hello to your ducks?" And so we said hello to the ducks, and we were just pretty mesmerized. We didn't know that ducks could really be pets.
Right.
And it just we started calling each other Friend of Ducks.
Friend of the duck.
Yeah, and so that really kind of took on legs. And then at my going away party after I graduated college and was moving off to Montana, I got this tie from my friend Matty Drafts. And I'm naming all my friends first and last name so you know proof that I have them.
Yes, right. These are not just
not made up people.
Imaginary friends.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. You bet.
Yeah.
Tell us about more of these friends that you have.
So that's kind of how it all started. But
you got friends that give you ties?
Yeah.
You've got a pretty high level of friends.
I think only Maddie is the only person ever giving me a tie.
Oh, okay.
But it was really nice of her, and I love this tie. It's still my favorite. But then I started to think about it, about the duck. And I started to think about the versatility and the adaptability of the duck. It can thrive on air, water, land. And I was just like, you know what? I really respect that about that particular animal. Because I feel like in life you have to find a way to adapt. Sometimes to be successful, you have to be like the duck.
Be like the duck. And one of the things I will agree, I'm agreeing with a lot of your points. I was wrongly thinking with your sports background, like maybe somebody went to Oregon, you had some Oregon duck kind of connection or something like that. Sure. That's what I was thinking. I was wrong.
Okay.
I was wrong. It's not all about sports with you.
No,
but
sometimes.
The duck is kind of underappreciated. And there's not a lot of people, especially where we live, with as common as ducks are, people will stop, they'll see a bald eagle, they'll see a moose or something, but very seldom do people stop and say, there's the duck.
I do.
You do?
I do.
And you wear the duck.
Yeah.
And you wear it well.
Yeah. And I eat the duck too.
Yeah.
I can respect it and still enjoy it.
Yeah, and that's the truth of the matter is, we have, we've talked a little bit about, pheasant numbers maybe not being as strong as people would like them to be in the pheasant season a couple weeks away. We'll talk more about that. But when we talk about hunting and the opportunities, one of our go-tos is the duck.
I mean, how can it not be?
Well,
let's take a look at some of these videos.
Let's do that.
Let's
talk ducks. The waterfall season for residents opens up this weekend in North Dakota. Those are the sandhill cranes. We'll get to those in a little bit. But
here we go.
The thing about ducks is the population. It's down a little bit this year. The numbers are down from last year. But the thing with ducks is there's a lot of people around here. If you stop at a farmer's place and say, "Hey, found some ducks. Think about going out and doing a duck hunt," they'll be like, "Sure, go ahead."
Yeah.
If it's pheasants, if it's deer, they're going to pump the brakes. No, we're not going to let you go. But when it comes to duck hunting, we've got lots of ducks. We've got lots of places to hunt ducks. And instead of being frustrated with the lack of access for pheasants or you can't draw a deer tag, go duck hunting. And our duck season for residents opens up this weekend. And we're really trying to get people to appreciate the ducks a little bit more because they're an underutilized resource.
I'm your guy because I appreciate them.
And I know, and we have people. You ever heard of the name Billy Martin? He was a Yankees manager, legendary
sure.
Yankees
Okay,
Twins guy from back in the early. Bud Grant, former Minnesota Vikings head football coach, those were guys early in the day that they would come to North Dakota duck hunting. And we still have people like Mike Trout. There's a lot of people that come to North Dakota waterfowl hunting, duck hunting, and goose hunting. And we live here, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota.
Just taking it for granted, perhaps.
We do a little bit. We do because of some of the other things that there's points in life where the supply not meeting the demand increases the interest. And when you can go out and go duck hunting, and it's not as much of a hurdle to get permission to go out there and to find the ducks are going to be out there. There'll be ducks out there this weekend. Stronger numbers kind of in the Devil's Lake, Harvey region, but we were just out in southwestern Cass County last weekend, and you go around the Alice area in Fingal, there's sloughs, there's ducks, and there's some public land out there. Same thing, you get into the northern end of the valley up in the Grand Forks and over towards Devil's Lake, and we can't encourage people enough to just say, hey, you know what? Let's try duck hunting. Maybe we haven't done it for a long time. Maybe we've never done that before. And I think you might. It's a harder hunt than pheasants. You're getting up at dark 30. You're getting up in the middle of the night, and it might be cold. It might be rainy. That's the perfect. You might like to watch football in the rain and the cold. And the ducks like the rain and the cold. So instead of sitting at home watching football, get out there and go chase after the ducks. The rain, the cold, it just kind of
gritty.
Yeah, it is. It's a gritty hunt.
Yeah, I like that.
You just did that. Okay. Very, very well. Duck hunting, in a word.
Gritty.
Grit. Yeah. So there's the challenge.
Okay.
There's the opportunity. The bird's down a little bit this year. No real significant changes in regulations, but it opens for residents this weekend, non-residents, Minnesota, South Dakota, if they want to come to North Dakota. We get a lot of people from Wisconsin, Michigan that come to North Dakota duck hunting. That will open up next weekend. So we give the residents the first weekend to hunt, a little less congestion, a little less competition.
I like that.
Yeah, and we do that for, we'll talk about pheasants in a couple of weeks as well, but it's kind of just a way to maybe reward the resident hunters just a little bit.
Yeah, it's like having the VIP, and that's how it should be. The people who live here, who chose to be here, they should get. You go to those tourist towns. Being from Illinois, it was always Door County, Wisconsin for us. So we'd go up to Door County, and they would call us Flatlanders, and some words that I won't say on air, some acronyms. But they didn't like us. They didn't like us because the residents of Door County were up there having a good old time, trying to take in the best time of year, the summer, get out there on the lake, and here come these Illinois Flatlanders. And they didn't like it at all. And so I feel like you mitigate that rivalry by just being like, hey, guess what? First time,
right?
First little chunk of the season, all you Dakotans.
Yeah, and we get that in the Lakes region of Minnesota, where they'll see the North Dakota play. It's like Dacker. What's the Dacker doing here? And like
I haven't heard that one. Dacker. Okay.
The thing about it is we all appreciate the same thing. We all appreciate the same ducks. We all appreciate the same water. We're kind of all in this together. So there is maybe some healthy competition, because you're enjoying the same areas, and if you can give a little bit of an opportunity ahead of time for the residents, it works out pretty good that way.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about some zebra mussels. We've talked about them a few times. I'm going to pull up the video here, and just not huge for the program.
Right, and the message for duck and goose hunting, when we talk about zebra mussels and aquatic nuisance species, as you can see, we slipped into the sandhill crane there, but prior to that, you can see any kind of vegetation. If you're hunting over water, if you're hunting ducks over the water and you're using a duck boat,
here we go. So these bad boys.
So take the weeds off.
Okay.
We don't want to be transporting.
I'm going to rewind just for the viewers here just a little bit.
Yeah, so anything that's going to have weeds on it, the duck boat, the duck decoys, your blind, your waders, we really want to try to make sure that we can clean everything off, because the last thing we want to do is be transporting some of these aquatic nuisance species.
And so that's what they look like right here.
So that's just a duckweed.
Okay.
The zebra mussels are really small. That's the thing right there is you see some of the green stuff attached on the bottom of the boat. Take that stuff off. We don't want that going to the next slough.
Yes.
Not necessarily everything is bad, but sometimes it's what you don't know. If there are zebra mussels, they're about the size of a penny, and we don't want to be transporting those zebra mussels someplace else. So inspect your boat, inspect your trailer, take the seaweed, anything green off of there before you go. And because those regulations for zebra mussels and aquatic nuisance species aren't just for the summer for boats, they're for any time you're in the water, and duck hunting, waterfowl hunting in the water included as well.
Is there a preferred place to hunt waterfowl? Do you think it's better to do it out of the water, or do you want to go out in a field?
And there's both ways to do it. You can hunt over the water in a duck boat with decoys. Again, that's probably a little more of a challenge for people, but the reward can be greater as well. Some hunters like to use field hunting, and that seems to be a little more for the residents. Again, to each his own. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. Some people get frustrated with people that are hunting over the water for ducks because it can blow the roost and move those birds someplace else. The field hunting kind of picks up a little bit later on after the corn harvest, but both of those opportunities are open, and it should be. I know there's a lot of people that love this hot weather that we've had, extending the Gulf season, extending the fishing a little bit more. When we get to some maybe cooler weather and maybe some rain and stuff mixed in, it can be a little more ducky, a little more gritty weather coming up for the weekend.
Yeah, well, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people this last week when it was a little bit hotter and stickier than what people wanted it to be, are ready for the true fall.
Yeah, I believe I'm one of those people. Sandhill cranes. So season opened up last weekend. Let's take a look at some of these sandhill cranes. I'll once again pull up the video here. Get to
and the sandhill crane. The hunting season opened up last weekend, and a lot of these birds would be migrating from Canada through central North Dakota, and it's kind of slow. Some birds showing up in central North Dakota. Quite honestly, if you look at them, they're a big, beautiful bird.
Yeah, no kidding.
They have a real bad reputation for how they taste.
Okay.
Nobody's ever going to be confusing them with chicken. That's not a problem that they have. They're a tough bird that we don't have a ton of hunters because they are so difficult. They're big. Fantastic eyesight, just a long neck. They can see literally for miles. If you're decoying sandhill cranes and anything isn't quite right, they're an extremely wary bird. They migrate in from Canada, and they have started to trickle in to the Rugby area of north central North Dakota, West Hope, Bottineau area. The best numbers of sandhill crane are probably going to be in a couple of weeks. You can see how big they are. They're pretty big bird. But the best numbers will probably be in a couple weeks. As the days continue to get shorter, that's what triggers a lot of the migration, is the shortening of days. So even if we don't get some cold weather, the cold weather up in Canada can really move birds out. As the days continue to shorten, though, the migration trigger will kind of move those birds in. So if you're looking to go sandhill crane hunting in North Dakota, again, the best number of birds way up north right now, but that could be changing over the weekend and should definitely be changing here in the next couple of weeks.
Now I know archery deer hunting, bow and arrow deer hunting, as I would like to call it. It's been going on for a few weeks now, but how's the season going, and are there any new information or reminders that is necessary to
It's
get out there?
It's going pretty good. It started off the last Friday in August, so yeah, it's been going for about 3 weeks now. And one of the reminders is when it comes to posted land, so in North Dakota, land has to be posted as closed to hunting, but you can do that electronically. So just because you don't see a sign out there, you don't see a sign that says no hunting, no trespassing, doesn't mean that it's open access. Okay. And there's some different apps that you can use. A lot of people use the Onyx app. You can go to the Game and Fish Department website and you can check that out. So it's a reminder to the archery deer hunters, just because you don't see a sign out there that says no hunting, no trespassing, doesn't mean that it's open access. If you are hunting on some public land, we would remind you to please clean up after yourself. Make sure you're not leaving anything out there. And then also when it comes to, after you've taken that deer, you shot the deer, you harvested the deer, and you're going up to it. In North Dakota, our law requires that you tag it immediately.
Okay.
And sometimes immediately means different things to you and me. in law enforcement, immediately means when you walk up to the deer, tag it. Before you start taking pictures of it, before you drag it back to the pickup truck.
So literally immediately.
Immediately. It shouldn't be too difficult of a concept.
Yeah.
For some reason, sometimes people don't want to have a picture of a tagged deer. They want to just have like au natural.
Okay.
But when that starts getting out on social media, then the reports come into our game wardens. They
interesting.
go, we got a report that you shot a deer, it's on social media, and there wasn't a tag on it. Well, I have a tag. You're supposed to tag it immediately. And the reason why that stands is because there's always some people trying to skirt the rules, and what they would do if they were not legal, they'd shoot the deer, and they'd see if they can get it back to the truck and back to the farm without putting a tag on it. Then they'll go back out, which is illegal, and then do it again. And maybe that time they'll put the tag on, or maybe they'll try to. So that's why the rule is in place of tag immediately.
Sure.
And the thing, by tagging immediately, what you're going to do is save yourself maybe some Tylenol. Because you put it on social media, and somebody says, oh man, that Adam, that guy, I've been waiting for him, and now he's got a deer that he didn't tag. I see it on social media, and I wanted to shoot that deer. And he shot it. Now I'm going to report him because he's got a picture of a deer that's not tagged in. It ends up being a headache when it doesn't have to be. So if you
Problem for Adam.
Adam's got problems.
Adam's just trying to get through his Wednesday. Next thing you know, he's getting a call from Doug saying, Adam, why don't you tag this deer? And no, but I'm a tagger.
You are. I know that. You got the tie.
Absolutely.
So you're a friend of the program.
Friend of the program, huge for the program.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Good reminders. It's like we always say, have fun. Play by the rules, though.
Right.
Have fun responsibly.
And we've got kind of a little bit of a tag where we'll tell people to, please stay safe, obey the rules, and enjoy the great outdoors. It's not that difficult. One last plug. These are out now. Your hunting and trapping guide.
Okay.
See it?
Very cool.
It's online, and if you're old like me, and you like, to pick it up and to page through it, we've got the page version, complete with pictures. So if you want to see the sandhill cranes and see the size of the sandhill crane, if you want to see some of the different duck species.
Okay.
So if you want to identify what's on your tie.
Absolutely. I think
mallard.
It's just a mallard,
Yeah,
right?
Drake mallard. Yep.
Okay. Very good.
But these are out there.
Doug, it's always a good time to go fishing.
It is. Good point. Especially we saw this week with these warm temperatures. There were a lot of people that were going out fishing, and it's just going to continue to stay really hot in terms of the fish that are out there. So I would encourage people, if you're not a hunter and we get another stretch of some nice days, man, get out there. You don't have to have a boat. You can go along the Red River, Grand Forks, Fargo, Wahpeton, East Grand Forks. You can find the Cheyenne River. Find some of those lakes, because it is just, you get those perfect days in the fall for football. Mm-hmm. Sun's shining,
I think
leaves are
today
turning.
might be a perfect fishing day. It rained in the morning.
Yeah. So get out there.
Yeah.
Get out there. You're not going to catch any fish sitting at home.
What's coming up next weekend?
So next weekend will be the non-resident waterfowl opener. Duck and goose hunters from literally all across the nation will be coming to North Dakota, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the rules and regulations, because it gets a little bit more stringent when we get with non-residents as to when they can hunt and where they can hunt. So we'll go over a little bit of that. But if you've got friends or family, you're not a duck hunter, and they're planning to come, now this is when you start making those plans. So get the licenses, start making plans, because next weekend is when the non-resident duck and goose hunting opener is for North Dakota.
Very good. So much that we talked about today. So just to close it out here, if we can just do almost like a recap. What's the most important thing people need to know? Best action going on right now.
The thing you need to know is get your license. You can buy it right on your phone. Right, we have a Game and Fish mobile app, so you can buy it. You can save it right to your phone. And the reason that's so important is you get out into the sticks and you don't have cell service. Save it to a folder that you can access. So when the game warden checks you can say, "Yep, I got my license. It's right here on my phone." So that's number one. Get the license. And we've been opening up seasons. We've got grouse season and partridge season, archery deer, archery antelope season is open, our mountain lion season. We'll talk about that maybe next week, talk some more how many cats have or have not been taken. The sandhill crane season is open this weekend. Duck and goose season open up. It's definitely really kind of getting into that middle ground. Then we're looking ahead to the pheasant season. this is the last weekend for youth deer hunt. That wraps up on, so we got some seasons open, some seasons closing, and some that are coming our way. So it's a great time to get outdoors.
Absolutely, absolutely it is. That's Doug Leier. I'm Adam Shalafu. This has been Valley News Now. Doug, thank you as always, my
Appreciate
friend. Pleasure to have you in studio. Everyone go have an excellent rest of your day, and we will see you next time.